Hey, YouTube peeps. How are y'all? I've tried this twice now. And if you're in the Facebook group, um, I know I said 7 and I tried at 7, but my audio wasn't doing very well. And if anybody gets on here, please tell me if it is still not doing good because I don't want to do this again. Not that I don't mind getting on here. It's just I don't like talking about the same thing, trying to get it over and over and over. Y'all like my hair? Don't I look spiffy? Hi, Rocky, my darling. How are you? Awesome. I miss you. Never come see me no more. That's okay. I know people have lives. Angie ran off and left me too. I see how y'all are. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I was going to sit outside a minute ago on my back porch, but it's a little chilly for me. You know me and my cold ass. Hi, Hack. I guess you're taking care of my girl. Did you watch the last live when I did, Rocky? Okay. Well, this may not make sense to you then, but I have to, if you go back and watch the video before this one, um, I had some things on there I said I was going to research and tell people. Um, like, for instance, we were talking about who created the first woman. Well, um, Zeus ordered Hephaestus, which Hephaestus is the gods and goddesses blacksmith. He's the one that makes all their tools. Zeus's thunderbolt and Poseidon's trident and Hades' bident and the shields for Athena when she helps mankind. When one of the gods or goddesses want to help man, then they go to Hephaestus and say, okay, make him this shield or make him this sword, shoes, whatever he might need to make it out of that task alive. So he created Pandora, which was the first woman. Okay. Now, as I stated before, Zeus and Prometheus, and now Prometheus is the god who created man. Him and Zeus are all throughout history at each other's throats. They're always fighting, nitpicking about something. Well, woman was actually Zeus had this done, had her created to get back at Prometheus, because Prometheus was for mankind. He wanted to help mankind, and the way these stories go, it's like Zeus wanted us to be, uh, dumb and just pretty much worship him. I'm not sure how he actually thought, but that's what I gather from him. Always, like, he took fire away from man after Prometheus gave it to us, and Prometheus went to and stole it back from Zeus and gave it back to man. But in the long run, Zeus caught up with Prometheus and chained him to a rock. and until it was all eaten. And then overnight it would regenerate, and the same thing would take place over and over again for eternity until Hercules or Heracles, depends on which pantheon you're in, um, slayed the eagle and freed Prometheus. So there's a little bit more history between Zeus and Prometheus. I don't know why, they just didn't like each other, evidently. And as far as Hecate's dragons, as I stated, back in the old days, years ago, when I was really young, it was said that you had to call down her dragons before you could call on her. And the secret to being able to call on her was knowing the dragons' names, and there was 3 of them. Well, I know the dragons' names, but I'm not going to repeat them now because now I can't find anything on it. Evidently, Cerberus, which is, the hound of hell, the 3-headed dog and that guards the gates of hell, Hades' best friend. Evidently, that is what she is depicted to be walking around with now. You can get different stories in anything you read or watch, I guarantee you, and especially when it comes to Greek mythology. So, I mean, most of us know Hecate as carrying around, or she always has the black dogs with her. It doesn't say 1 dog with 3 heads. It doesn't say 3 dogs. It just says black dogs. So that brings me to another thing. I had someone email me and ask me about the associations of Hecate. Well, I've done a short video on her. I mean, I guarantee you, I could do 20 videos, each an hour long on her, and probably still wouldn't cover everything. She is such a complicated goddess. There are so many different beliefs and ideas about her, and the way people see her, all her epithets, her different aspects. But the main thing, some people say, well, how I'll know she's calling me and will I see things? You may, I'm not really sure how she would let you know. Usually I always say that if she's on your mind really heavy, if you're wanting to learn about her, if something keeps nagging at you to get more info on her, that's probably her. Now, I'm not going to say that you won't see or be around a lot of her associations. Like you may see a bunch of torches. You may all of a sudden have keys appearing everywhere. Donald Trump. Yeah, well, those days are over, dude. Anyway, so you may see those things, you may not. I mean, a lot of times she's associated with any wild animal. Frogs, owls, snakes, dragons. Her colors are pretty much the witch colors, black, white, red. I have been told by one of her followers that every once in a while she likes a green candle with her sigil carved in it with an oil that's specially made for her, dressing the candle. You can start out with the basics. The cauldrons, your wand, and athame. Man, I've got and lanterns. Could stand for torches. Anything that lights the way. Crossroads. All of a sudden, if you're finding yourself literally, you could be out driving around and you're finding yourself literally at crossroads all the time. or you see them on TV, or um, it wouldn't always be animals, because you think of it this way: those of us that don't live in a big city, or the ones that do live in a big city, aren't going to have access to all these animals. But it doesn't mean that you won't dream about them. It doesn't mean that you won't be seeing them on TV all the time. Um, so I just think that you'll know when it's her. Um, there shouldn't be a doubt in your mind. Now, if you're a new witch, um, as I've said before, you don't have to have a deity. Okay, I'm going to get to that, the nun. I have to finish off on what I was doing, but I'm almost done with that, and then I'll get to it. Okay. Um. Anyway, so yeah, Hecate, she has many, many forms. All I can tell you is to set you up at the altar to her with a few things that she likes. She likes mugwort, any poisonous herb. I'd be careful with them poisonous herbs, though, especially if you have animals or children around. And talk to her. It may take her a few days to respond to you. She may not. You may not be ready for her yet. Okay. Now, on this blood magic, I know most people think when they hear blood magic, they're like, oh my God, they're sacrificing babies and they're killing animals and all this crap, which we do not do. Contrary to popular belief, 95% of witches do not sacrifice animals. We couldn't. We love them too much. We just don't do that sort of thing, and we damn sure are going to go kill a baby. So that is not what blood magic is. When you're giving an offering to a deity, like say you're at your altar, most of us, most people, anything you put on there, you could give them a certain crystal. Your incense is an offering. Snacks that they may like, honey, a glass or chalice of moon water. Whatever you're putting on that altar as an offering to that deity is great. Sometimes when you're dressing a candle, I myself will poke my finger and put blood on that candle before I burn it, before I light it. Blood is the ultimate offering. Okay, now this does not mean, I better say this does not mean that you go and cut your wrist. A little bit of blood goes a long ways. Now, there's the old saying that menstrual blood is the best blood. Well, that's just not true. Blood is blood. Your blood is blood. It doesn't matter, where it comes from. It's still your blood. It's still magical. The reason, I'm sure, I mean, this is using my common sense, but the reason that a lot of people would say that or do that, because it was easier to come by. During that time of month, during menses, well, it's really simple to get blood. You don't have to cut yourself. You don't have to do anything. Poke yourself. It's already there. And I've had people say, well, it's because it's to nourish the child. Well, if there's no child in there, it's not nourishing it. That blood simply goes through the uterus and out of it unless it needs to stay. I'm sure I don't have to tell y'all about anatomy and physiology. Now, if there was going to be a more powerful blood, it could be the blood after you have a child. Because that blood has sat in that uterus for 9 months, and it has, protected and nourished that child. And So it has a lot of those qualities in it. A lot of people, especially in the old world, will save the placenta. Some people eat it. Oh, I know, but some people do eat it um, because it's so full of nourishment. Um, some people will take it and put it in the ground and plant a tree on top of it. But as far as blood magic goes, now, and when you're writing a petition, when you're doing your spell and you're writing your petition, and you put a little bit of blood there where your signature may be, or where your ending may be, however you end your spells, you may say "so mote it be," you may say "it is done," or fiat, which all that means is it's done. Um, and you put a little bit of blood, your fingertip, your fingerprints on there with that blood. That's very much personalizing that spell. So did I answer your question, the nun? Now, and when you make pacts, some witches work with demons. Okay, when you make a pact with one of them demons, then you may offer them blood as sealing your pact. Some witches work with them, some don't. Some with them, some have an allegiance with them, and some just work with them, and then you know on. But that could be a whole different video. So, hey, Lan, how are you? Hi, Shelly. I just answered your question a little bit earlier about Hecate. Lan, are you spiritual? I mean, are you a witch or a druid? Oh, well, we're witches here. I don't know if you'd call us paranormal. We do exist. I mean, you're welcome to stay if you want. I was just letting you know that this is a witchy channel. What are you? Do you practice a certain thing? It's okay, Shelly. I actually was going to do this at 7 o'clock, but I started and something went wrong with my audio. So, the nun, did I answer you about the blood magic? Do y'all have any questions about blood magic? You know spells but don't practice. You mean you know of spells that other people have done and you've learned the spell that they done, or did you write the spell yourself? Another video I'm going to do, I got to thinking about, is I haven't showed y'all how to do a crystal grid yet. I need to do that. I need somebody here with me helping me so they can hold a camera so I can show it better instead of having to turn my computer around and point it way down where you can see the table in my hands. That's nice, Lynn. Have you actually went on a paranormal hunt? Have you ran into any deities or ghosts, anything like that? You've heard of what? Crystal grids? Oh, and I had somebody else email me too and ask me to do something about Ouija boards. What's a cloud buster? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is, and I may call it something else. I don't know. But Ouija boards, I do not trust. I've been a witch for at least, well, all my life, at least 45 years anyway. You think so, Shelley? I don't know. It looks really good when they're walking through them. Of course, have you noticed when they're actually walking through these houses that, I mean, every once in a while you'll actually see something, but usually all you see them do is go, oh, and jump, and then the camera turns off. You don't see anything. Existential crisis the following week. Oh, so you think that alien caused bad luck to fall on you? It's an orgone generator made of crystals. Oh, okay. A crystal grid. I got you. Yeah, okay. Byproduct makes holes. Oh, I see. Okay. So it's basically a crystal grid like we create. It's just for something else and on a larger scale. Yes, we are, Shelley. Rocky, you still on here? Little girl? But yeah, I need to do a video on that. I really need somebody to. Okay, you're awful quiet. Of course, I know. You don't. I already know. It's okay. I think if I'm anything, I'd be like an incubus or a fallen angel. Oh, awesome. We work with angels too. We work with we work with everything. I know, sweetheart. It's nice having you here though. Maybe we'll mention something, and if somebody else, you ever hear it, you'll know what they're talking about because you've listened here and we've talked about it. Yeah. Well, y'all got any questions? I really didn't prepare a forum for this. I was just going to touch on the last video and talk about the blood magic for a minute. Yes, I am. How did you know that? I am part Cherokee and the other part Irish. Shelley, you got any questions? I haven't seen your request in our group. You need to get on there. Oh. Are you Cherokee? I will be 52 in August. Oh, okay, Shelley. Yeah, them grandkids will keep your hands full, won't they? I just spit all over myself for my tea. Got some chai tea going here. Good for you. You're not. You're just running into them, huh? Well, there must be a reason. Oh, thank you. You mean for 52? I'm crazy too. You don't know me very well. If you keep watching, I'm a little nutty. And I got a temper, but it takes a while for it to come out. So anything else y'all want to talk about? Any questions you want to ask me about myself or anything? What's your favorite witchy tools? I like them all. Oh, Shelly, you're biased, but thank you. Well, that's good. We'll get along just fine, won't we, Lan? I like nutty people. Friendly, funny nutty, not, cuckoo. Your phone? Yeah, those phones are pretty magical. You asked me if I was an alien. Oh, Rocky, what's my favorite spell? Oh, you mean to create for people or to actually do, like, set it up, the ritual part of it? I'll answer both. Let's see. I like them all. I like to do spells. Probably money. I like to do money spells. And for people, I like to do things to heal. I like healing spells. Um, Healing the earth, healing the animals. Mirror and pendulum for a witchy tool to communicate to the other side. Yeah. Did I manifest you, Lan? I don't know. How old are you? And Shelly, God, you're going to be afraid to say anything to me because every time, I have something else to say about your stuff. But please don't get mad at me. Um, I've actually always believed in the pendulum myself. In fact, I have several of them. Um, I watched the Black Witch Coven. I'm a member of that. But she did a video, and I did it all on my own without any influence from any other electronics, just me and my pendulum. And it's true. It will move where your mind thinks it's going to move. Try this. Here, hang on. Let me go get my pendulum. Be right back, guys. Okay, this pendulum, stays on my altar all the time. Okay, it's got all the chakra in it. And it's charged. Okay, if you get it still, okay, hold it like that and then ask it a question. Ask, is there a spirit here? Or first you need to ask which way will be yes. There it goes. See, it's moving to my right. All right. Well, it's hard for me to do this. You get it to where y'all can see it. Okay. Okay, so right will be yes. Which way will be no? See, it's moving over to my left. Okay, now it'll stop. Now sit there and do that and ask if the spirit is there. And I guarantee you, subconsciously, you're going to be thinking that that spirit's there. So that's going to move to the right. Okay. Your mind is so powerful. And this is where a lot of people don't believe that witchcraft exists. And it's using the energy of the mind and matter. There really is proof it can be done. Okay. So if you're holding this and you may not even know that you're asking it to go that way or telling it to go that way, because of course you want to believe that that spirit's there and listening to you, right? I mean, and it kind of disheartened me. I thought, oh no, you mean all this time I've been talking to myself? Which a lot of people believe, with your deities, if you're talking to a deity, that deity is actually within you, that your spirit is that deity. Yes, Lan, I would like to know. I ain't been messing with Chrysocolla lately, or Chrysoprase, so I don't know. Yeah, I seen the picture. That's an awesome picture. But I'm talking about just sitting with your pendulum asking it questions, just by yourself, without nothing else going on. Now, I still, even though what she said is proven, she showed it, and I did it. I'm still not convinced that it it should be debunked, because I've been doing it my whole witchiness. Of course, I'm getting older now, and I don't keep them straight. I shake a lot, so my pendulum is never straight. Like I could say, Hecate, are you here with us right now? Now, see, it's moving to my left, which means no. Okay. Now it'll stop. Is there a spirit here with me? Yes. Is it family? Yes. Now, see, I was not at that time, I was not thinking. When I asked if it was Hecate, if it was me in my mind thinking, I would be thinking yes, because she's always with me. So I would have made it go to the right. And it went to the left. You see what I'm saying? So you can keep messing with it and see, you know, I don't know, because I did not do that just in myself. I was not thinking, no, she's not here. I would have thought, yeah, she's here. And I was thinking, yes, she's here. She's always with me. But it went to the left. So I guess it just depends. Yeah, Lan, in fact, I've got to put a money spell on here that I've been promising for a couple of months now, and I just have not ever got around to it. I ran into other things on here, and I need to get it done though. Yeah. Well, you just seen me move it, or it moved. I didn't move it. I don't know. I know when I watched that, she made it, sound so um, like we shouldn't be doing it, that it didn't make any sense. But I don't know. But and it's like anything else in this craft. Something that works for one person may not work for the others. You know. Um, there's certain things I don't do because they don't resonate with me. I don't feel comfortable, or I don't have any faith in them. And if you don't have any faith in your magic and in what you're doing, then your spells probably aren't going to work. See what I'm saying? Um, I don't know. But as I was saying about that Ouija board, I don't trust the Ouija board. It's too easy to. Now, if you're a seasoned witch, um, and you're with other seasoned witches, and y'all know what you're doing, you know how to banish if needed, and you put up your protection walls, drawing your quarters, all that good stuff. Because once you open that portal, you don't know what's going to come through there. I mean, you're opening this portal that leads out into a completely different universe and an image of time than we cannot even perceive in the human mind. There's no telling what's out there, and you're inviting that in. You're giving it permission to come in when you call on something on that Ouija board. And even if you're trying to evoke, say, your mother that died, or your father or brother, whoever, there's entities out there that are hearing you. They could beat your family member there and pretend to be them. Um, and you're not going to know any difference if you're not seasoned. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to believe that that person is your mother or your dad, and you're going to tell it things, and it's going to learn how to get to you. And before you know it, you've got this thing hanging around you all the time that you're thinking may be your mother. And in reality, it's pretty much eating off of you. I just don't trust them. So, I mean, if I was going to have one, I'd probably hang it up on my wall. They make some really pretty ones. And I've seen some real old ones that, and they're really expensive, made out of the really hard wood. And they're really pretty, really well crafted, and well done, but it's still a Ouija board. I'm not telling you not to do it. You won't ever hear me say don't do that, but if you do, you better you better know how to also banish and get rid of that. Yes, protection is the most important thing. Yes, because even just without us doing that, we as witches, our vibrations are already up there so high that we're automatically attracting stuff anyway. It's like static electricity, or a magnet. You're attracting all this stuff. So you have to be able to protect yourself, or you're just going to look like a black blob walking around with all this bad stuff on you. How do you speak? How do you speak to a loved one? Well, Rocky, now I would go through Hecate. Um, I would evoke her into my circle, and ask her if she could, you know, get them for me, or talk to them for me, or if there's a way I could talk to them. Number one, she's my protection. And number two, she's with the dead all the time. She's back and forth with them and leading them where they need to go. So she'd know exactly who and where they were. Now, what you could do, same as people that evoke demons. a lot of times I'll say daemon, but since I'm talking to you, I'll just say demon. Um, and when each demon, it doesn't matter where they're at. Now, I don't think the very low level, the little imps and um, those type of demons have sigils. But any demon that you call on needs to have a sigil. That means that you're calling on the hierarchy of the demonic realm. Okay. If they don't have a sigil, leave them alone. Because they won't help you. They don't want to help you. They hate you. They will do anything in the world to make your life live in hell. Okay. The ones with sigils, the higher up demons, the actual rulers of Hades, um, will help you. So, uh, once I'd have to show you the ritual. Um, but what you could do, since you're not actually a witch, what you could do was, I don't know, get you a candle that might have been their favorite color. Um, Concentrate on that candle before you even light it. Really rub that candle and think about what you're wanting to do, and that family member. What they smelled like, what their favorite food was, anything you can remember about them. And this may take you 30 minutes with that candle. After you get done, and you're also telling it you want to send that person a message to see if they could speak to you. After you're done putting that into that candle, you light it. And you need to be somewhere very quiet, undisturbed. After you light it, you sit and you do the same thing. You keep thinking about that person. You can say out loud, I would like to speak to my mother. Okay. Um, but don't mention a name. Okay. To me, that's pretty important because, as I said, those other spirits are going to hear you. They're going to think, oh, well, she wants to talk to Barbara, you know. Hi, I'm Barbara, and they are not. So what you could say is, I would like to talk to the mother and state your full name at birth, and then see what comes to you. Sit there for a while with it. You may or may not get a response at that moment. You may get a scent. You may smell something. You may actually feel something touch you. Um, you may even go as far to see a shadow or a form. I'm not sure what would happen. It depends on same as in any of us witches, how bad or how good our intent is, and how seasoned we are at conjuring this stuff up. You may not get a result that night. You may, in a couple of days or a week or so, something will answer that question that you've been wanting to ask that person. The reason that you're wanting to get a hold of them, it will be revealed to you somehow. They may not come to you in their form. Yeah, Shelley, true. Yeah, you can, if they do show up that evening or whatever, ask, if you knew what your mother's favorite color was, say, what is your favorite color? Same as the demons, you know, when you're evoking one, even though you have that sigil right there, and you ask to see that demon, when you feel that entity present, there's no doubt in your mind that something is present. You ask them to show you their sigil. Okay. They are bound by law, by the law, They have to show their sigil. They cannot use the one that they see laying there with your candle. They have to show you their sigil. Okay? So if it's not the sigil you called for, then you better know your banishing rituals. Okay? And just like I said about the circle, usually we'll cast a protective circle. In reality, those circles aren't going to do you much good if that entity wants to come through that circle. Usually they won't, out of respect. They know it's a border, it's a barrier that they're not supposed to cross unless they're evoked. But they may do things to get you to allow them in it, just so you can say it's okay for them to come in. Okay, number one, you don't let anything in that circle. That's why it's up. Everything that you evoke should be outside of that circle. You don't want something in that circle with you that you don't know how to get rid of. Okay, because then you have no protection. But if they wanted to, they could come through it. They just simply abide by the rules, most of them. I'm not telling you don't not cast a circle because it doesn't do any good. That is not what I'm saying. I'm telling you that if they want to come through there, they will. And depending on what kind of magic you do, like for instance, if you're working with a demon, you don't want to go through and sage all your stuff. You want to cleanse it, maybe with frankincense and myrrh or some kind of incense. But you don't want to sage the hell out of it. You're going to run that spirit off, That's what I'm saying. Before you start evoking things, you need to do your homework. You need to find out everything you can about what you're going to evoke, what the risks are. You have a protection in place, and you have, a banishment spell in case you need it. The 9 wore up. What am I warring up about? But that's one thing about this path. When I told y'all at the beginning of my videos, there is so much to learn. So many ways of doing things. And you yourself, as you get further and further into your path, will start doing things your own way. I mean, it was hard for me even to show people how to set up an altar or cast a circle because I'm so used to doing it my own way. I was trying to show the right way or the way I was taught in the beginning, the textbook thing. But, as long as you know the basics, and then you go on your own. I don't want you just going and making shit up until you experiment, and know it works. See what I'm saying? And I don't want nobody hurt or in trouble. I want to keep my people safe. And like I said, casting spells is the least part of witchcraft, of witches, of the witch life, the witch path. I love you too, Rocky. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. But anyway, yeah. So now that I got that, also, I'm going to go look here after I get off here. Starting tonight, you are supposed to be able to see full moon coming up. Yeah. starting tonight, you're supposed to be able to see Jupiter's moons. Jupiter's going to be so close to the Earth that you're supposed to be able to see its moons. Now, I don't know if tonight's the best night to look at it, or if it's going to start tonight and you can see it through the end of the month. I don't remember what it said. It was an announcement I got on one of my witch feeds. But that ought to be neat. You'll have to use binoculars, but you won't need a telescope. It'll be that close. So that'll be neat to do. Well, Shelly, you got any more questions? Or you want to tell me about anything else? I don't want to just sit here and look like a dummy. And I don't have anything else written down. Like I said, I didn't plan I am going to get that. The very next video I do, I promise, is going to be a money spell. I won't do any more until I get that money spell on here. And then I will try to get it to where I can film how to do a crystal grid. Do you know how to do a crystal grid? Awesome. You got mugwort in there? She likes mugwort. And the X-Files. Are you watching the X-Files? I just said, I think you were gone, but I just said that the very next video that I do is going to be a money spell. I've been saying I'm going to put it up for a couple months now, and like I said, I've gotten busy with a Facebook page in this channel, so I haven't got it up there yet. But I won't do anything else until I get that up there. And I have to keep putting these glasses on because I can't read what y'all are saying without them. You should just do the 100 challenge. You'll get a lot of views. What's that? The 100 SOCLS challenge. What's that? Oh, 100 socks at once. Oh my, now why would I do something like that? I like my witchy channel. I like helping the new witches. That's my job as a crone. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, Shelly. I never even heard of it. What do you do with that? What do you do with 100 socks? Just remember, he said he was as nutty as I am, if not more. So there you go. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Wear them all at the same time. Then you get mad props. No, not yet, Shelly. I get tired of doing the same old one, so I'm going to make up something different this time. I'm going to do something different. I wish I had a witch that lived here around here with me. There was one, but I could never get her to come over. She worked a lot, though. It'd be fun to sit out on my patio and get fire going in the cauldron out there. And maybe do a little moon ritual. And I don't really do, well, I do spells. To me, there's 3 nights of the full moon, just like there's 3 nights to the dark moon. or the new moon, however you want to put it. Um, Usually the first night, I may do, I may get everything, figured out what I want to do. And then on the actual full moon, I may, do my ritual. And that night's usually just, I don't ask for anything or do anything. I usually just appreciate the goddess. And then the next night is when I would cast my spell. But you can do it all at the same time. I just save energy that way. I mean, if I used to try that, like on the exact night of the full moon, I would just be rushing around all day trying to do everything, and I would be so worn out by the time it actually came time to do the ritual. I was too damn tired. So now I kind of split it up throughout the 3 days. So, and also too, Shelly, if you want to join that Facebook page, just know that it's private. Nobody else can see it, but other members. Nobody would even know who you are, your name or anything. It's a closed group. I know some witches aren't as open about things as I am. But anyway, I guess I'll get off here unless you have something else you want to talk about. Do you work with the trident? No, no, I haven't ever worked with it. Do you? See, you can teach me some things. Yes, Lan, you're correct. I'm not as discreet. I don't care who knows about me, but some of my followers are. Well, what does the trident entail? Bye bye, Lan. Thank you for coming to see me. Appreciate you. So, what do you do with the trident? What do you mean by working with it? Oh, you mean the trio. Oh, I got you. I'm thinking of the trident. I'm thinking of Poseidon's trident. Okay, you mean Lucifer, Belial, and Hecate? Yeah. No. Now, I haven't ever worked or called on with Belial or Belial. Is how you pronounce it. Um, Now, Lucifer, throughout different times in my life, has come to me without me even evoking him. I mean, it was the weirdest thing. And at that time, it was still in my head that I should not work with demons. So I pushed him away. I told him, go away. But like 3 different times. And I knew it was him. It was the weirdest feeling. And I mean, I felt him. I never did see him. Twice I felt him, and once I heard him. I heard his voice. And there was no doubt in my mind it was him. It's like I can't explain it. I just knew it was him. um, One time I was sitting in a recliner and I was asleep. I had fallen asleep in the recliner. Um, And you know how you feel when, like, say your husband or your boyfriend comes up to you and puts his hands on the side of the recliner and leans, towards you to maybe give you a kiss on the forehead or whatever. That's what this thing did, but I couldn't see it. I could sense the form. I could see it in my mind. I'm not what it was, but I could see the outline of it in my mind. And that's when the times, man, I opened my eyes and I went, get away. Freaked me out. And I thought that was Lucifer again. And that was the last time he had come to me. Another time, I was laying on my couch asleep and I felt someone crawl in behind me and put their arms around me and just lay there with me. It was the most seductive and comforting feeling that I have ever had in my life. I mean, I have never felt that secure, that protected, that euphoria ever in my life or since. And I could feel the outline of the body laying behind me. I could feel the arms around me. I mean, it was really weird. And that night, I didn't push him away. I mean, and he didn't try to have sex with me. He never said a word. He just laid there and held me. Now, before that, when I heard his voice, I was also asleep and I woke up and I was living with my grandmother at the time, but our gas had been shut off. It was really cold. And so I slept in the bed with her. And I just had my son. I mean, he was probably just a couple of weeks old. And I was laying there and I thought I was awake. And we didn't have a phone. We didn't have a phone in the house that worked, but there was a phone sitting on the other side of my grandma on her nightstand. It was one of those old timey dressy phones. So she just set it out pretty much for a decoration. Well, that phone was ringing. And that's what woke me up, or I thought I was awake. And I was like, and it just kept ringing and ringing. And I said, Grandma, are you going to answer that phone? And she said, we don't have a phone. And I was like, Grandma, the phone is ringing. So I get up, I walk around, go to walk around the other side of the bed, and the curtain in the window that I was facing started blowing upwards, and the window was shut. I mean, remember, I said it was freaking cold outside, and it was. So we would not have had the window open, not even a tiny little bit. So, and that curtain was just blowing, and then it stopped in midair and just sat there in midair. And so by this time, I'm around and I answer the phone. And this voice, uh, it almost sounded like thunder, but you could understand what it was saying. I could understand what it was saying. Um, it said, if you ever need any help, dial the number next to 0. I don't have any idea to this day what that means. So I just hung the phone back up, went back around, laid down. That I looked over towards that window, and the curtain went down, and then the door to the bedroom. We had a little electric heater in there, and so there's 2 doors leading into her bedroom, one from the kitchen and one from the hallway that led to the other bedroom. Well, the one that led into the hallway started opening. Well, then I got spooked and I was like, Grandma, Grandma, wake up. And she said, I'm awake. I'm awake. I said, do you not see that? Did you not hear that phone? Blah, blah. And she's like, I did not hear anything. Blah, blah. And I'm talking to her. I think I'm talking to her. She's awake, or I think she's awake. And then I snapped to, and I was laying there in my bed with my eyes open, staring at the ceiling. And everything's quit doing what it was doing, and my grandmother's snoring. And so I woke her up. I was like, Grandma, did you hear all that commotion? And this time I was really awake. And she's like, no. And my grandmother, this grandma, was very Christian. I mean, she lived next door to God. And so I was telling her what was going on. I told her everything. And she goes, oh, we need to pray for you. That's the devil. That's the devil. He's after you. And I thought, oh my gosh, that was the weirdest thing. But yeah, number 9 is very, yeah, it is. Well, there's sociopath again. Hello. How are you? Are you feeling better tonight? I know the last time you were on here, you wasn't feeling too great. I hope you're doing better. But yeah, Shelly, those are my experience with the Lucifer. And that people, everybody asked me, how did you know that was him? I'm like, I just knew. I just knew it was him. I had no doubt in my mind. I didn't know. I never said, well, maybe not. I knew for a fact, would have bet my life on it. It was him. Protein shake is not beating up my stomach anymore. I'm super stoned. Well, that's nice. You're welcome, Shelly. Just like with when Hecate's in the room, I just know she's in the room. Number one, everything gets so hot. It's almost like I've walked into a tropical paradise. It's hot, it's sticky to me, and I don't get hot. I'm really cold natured. And first I get a little bit edgy, you know, like hyper, not scared edgy. Did you get the Queen of Health? No, no. I thought about getting it just to see what it had to say, but that's awful expensive just to decide I don't agree with it. I wonder if she's pushing that book so much and starting that club. Did you get in that book club of hers? I wonder if she's not getting free books or discounts for how many ever she sends to him. You didn't get in it? That's probably the best thing she's done that I could see. At least she's, on the right track there. But I wouldn't ever go on here and tell, one of my subscribers or my subscribers that they needed to get a certain book or they couldn't be in a club, you know. I don't know. To each their own. I might buy the book myself and then read from it, to my followers. But like I said, that's not cheap. A lot of people don't have that kind of money to spend on a book. It's what the one I looked at was at least $108. And that's before shipping and handling. Did you get it? Did you get the book? It's pretty though, isn't it? It looked like a really nice book. I actually would like to have it just for my library. But I just don't want, I don't know if I want to spend that much money on it. I know that's terrible. And to me, that's just somebody else's point of view on Hecate, you know? Yeah, it is. It's really pretty, the one she showed. The green, what is it, green patent leather or suede leather? It's real pretty. I don't know. I may put that money spell up here tonight. I may do it if I may do it while I'm thinking about it. Oh, it is sold out. Wow. Yeah, I think he only makes so many copies of all of his books. That Scorpion King, or the Scorpion God looked, is that what the name of that one was? The other one looked kind of interesting to me too. I almost said the Scorpion King. That's a movie. I can't remember. Let me go check and see if I let my cat out. Y'all see my white legs. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Move, move. Sorry, had to let my kitty cats in. I don't have that one yet. That is King Billy-O's book. Okay. Yeah, that's who I thought it was. See, I haven't ever worked with Billy L. But like I said, Lucifer has came to me, and then of course I work with Hecate. So you're trying to get the book or work with them. Well, if you already work with Hecate, all you have to do is ask her, or tell her that you want to work with them. I mean, she's right there with them all the time. She definitely has access to them. She may lead you to them, and she may lead them to you and introduce you, and just go to them yourself. Do your altar like you would anything else. Give them an offering. You could write out a petition. It all depends on if you want to make a pact with them, a long-term pact, a forever pact, or if you want to just see if they'll work with you. I know which of those I wanted if I were you before I approached them, though. Because now, I'm telling you, when you start working with the demons, and they hold you to that pact. I mean, it's not like you can say, okay, I'm gonna be, with you forever. Please teach me, blah blah blah. And then you decide in a week that you just, either don't, need them anymore, don't want them there anymore, and then just kind of break your contract with them. That's not a good thing. But you don't have to make long-term pacts. I mean, you could ask them, if they'll um, be with you on a certain working or, for a certain amount of time to teach you something, and then your contract's up. But whatever, you need to be specific when you go to them and know exactly what you want, because unless you do, they won't know. You have to know and make that proposal to them, and then they'll accept it or they won't. Awesome. Of course, we believe in spells. We're witches. Yeah, the next video I do is gonna be a money spell. One, there's 1,000 of them. This is my own. Shelly, you're so cute. I'll tell you somebody else you can watch that is really good and knows her demons. Um, she's been with the Damon for, I think she said, well, pretty much all her life, and she's our age, my age, or right around my age somewhere, and she's been working with him since she was like in her early 20s. And that is well, it's the Blue Witch Coven, or Blue Witch Coven. I'm so sorry. Ah, the Black Witch Coven. Yeah, I couldn't remember if you said you were my age or older. Here's 3 spells. First, go to South Africa, sell RCs because they're still legal. They're so big gray area. And second, become a life guru. All you need for this is to be able to read people, so you can realize their desires and weaknesses. Oh, well, I don't know what RCs are. Yes, I think I watched all of her videos. Oh, okay. So you already know who she is. I keep forgetting that this ain't your first time around the block. Oh, okay. Research chemicals. Well, good grief. I'd have to be somewhere in the government or in the lab, and oh, I ain't doing none of that. That'd kill people. I ain't into all that. You better not be either. You get my finger up there. I got to get a pop. The best way to get money is just get a job, keep it, and try to save. And money spells, and I'll explain this before I do mine, they're not to make you get rich. I mean, if that was the case, like I've said before, all us witches would be millionaires, but that's not how it works. There's a balance that has to be kept in check, and you can ask for help every once in a while, but it's not going to be your paycheck every week. Oh, hell no, Shelley. You know what they're doing to white people over in South Africa right now? Yeah, but that's sad, sociopath. Why would you want to get somebody addicted to anything and live off of their misery? That just ain't right. Well, Everyone, they can do whatever, I guess, but I won't be one of them. I'd rather help and heal someone than hurt them. Oh yeah, I'm sure that I was pretty good at chemistry. Oh well, yeah, the things that are legal. Caffeine. Yeah, Shelley, I am a member in another, it's called All Things Death, Anatomy, Death, and something. And that's a pretty, um, how would you put it? It's very explicit. It shows a bunch of different deaths and stuff, and they had a thing that was happening over in Africa, what they were doing to white people over there. And South Africa has a lot of white people that are natives. I mean, and they're still killing them. Yeah, it even shows it. So I'm saying it's very detailed and explicit. So beware, and they warn you before you ask to join that you'll see shit like that. Oh yeah, I know. Seems the whole world's done that since the beginning of time. They just want to fight. It's always been that way, and I guess it always will be. Unfortunately, makes me really afraid for my granddaughters to grow up and have kids. It's already getting so bad. We had a guy on the side of the road today on South I-35, southbound I-35 in Oklahoma City, standing on the side of the road shooting at people as they drove by in their cars. Fucking crazy people. Makes you afraid to do anything anymore. Of course, we have a open carry now. I'm surprised when them citizens, of course, when you're going 70, 75 miles an hour, it's kind of hard to stop in the middle of traffic and turn around and go back and shoot somebody. But it's a wonder nobody got killed. He had a handgun, but if he had like a semi-automatic or something, that could have been really bad. Oh, it's just scary. Mm. I don't understand people. Well, guys, I've been on here an hour and a half. I guess I better get off here. And if I'm going to put that money spell up tonight, I better get to it. We'll see how things go. But thank y'all for joining me on here. Don't forget to hit the notification button and you'll know when I'm on here live. It'll let you know. Good night, Shelley. I got mine just fine. I didn't have a problem at all. But I've already been fingerprinted and worked in law enforcement before too. So, okay. Well, I got to go. I will see y'all the next round. Have a good night. Bye.